ძვირფასო სტუმრებო, მოგესალმებით ჩვენს ონლაინ მიღებაზე, რომელიც მიძღვნილია მისი უდიდებულესობა, იაპონიის იმპერატორის 71 დაბადების დღისადმი 23 თებერვალს და იაპონიასა და საქართველოს შორის ურთიერთობების შემდგომი განვითარებისადმი. ქალბატონი ანა ხარაიძე შეასრულებს იაპონიის ეროვნულ ჰიმნს კიმიგაიოს.
Kimigayo chioni yo chioni sadare ishino
საქართველოს სახელმწიფო ჰიმნს შეასრულებს ბატონი მიხეილ იაკობიძე.
ჩემი ხატია სამშობლო სახათე მთელი ქვეყანა განათებული მთავარი ჭილნახარი აღმერთთანა თავისუფლება დღეს შვენი მომავალ სუმღერს დიდებას ცისკრის ვარსკვლავი ამოდის და ზღვაშუა ბრწყინდება თადიდება თავისუფლებას დიდება.
იაპონიის საგანგებოდო სრულუფლებიანი ელჩი საქართველოში, მისი აღმატებულება ბატონი იმამურა აკირა წარმოთქვამს მისასალმებელ სიტყვას.
Excellencies, distinguished guests, dear friends, მოხარული ვარ მოგესალმოთ იაპონიის საელჩოს სახელით. Welcome and thank you for visiting our online reception on the occasion of birthday of His Majesty Emperor Naruhito on February 23rd, 2021. Today, His Majesty turned 61 years old. As you know, His Majesty acceded to the throne on May 1st, 2019 as the 126th Emperor of Japan. Since then, His Majesty has been actively engaged in official duties and public activities in his capacity, including convoking the Diet, our parliament, and receiving of credentials of foreign ambassadors, to name a few. His Majesty and Her Majesty the Empress have shown their compassion to our people, especially by visiting many areas around the country and talking to them directly. Today, the ceremony to celebrate His Majesty's birthday was held in Tokyo, and it is my great pleasure and honor to have all of our friends in Georgia to join this celebration in this format. Since my arrival in Tbilisi in December last year, I've been meeting with many Georgians. Through these meetings, I noticed that the Japanese and Georgians are similar in many ways. One striking feature is the extraordinary hospitality. Stomaru must be zloba in Georgian or omotenashi in Japanese. It has been deeply ingrained in our cultures for many centuries. Indeed, both of our countries take pride in long history and tradition. It is probably no coincidence that Japanese food culture washoku and Georgian Kuevli wine were selected as intangible cultural heritage of UNESCO in the same year in 2013. Although here I must admit that Georgia wine's 8,000-year history is much longer than Japanese washoku. Apart from the cultural tradition, Georgia and Japan share fundamental values such as democracy, rule of law, and human rights. This serves as a solid foundation of our relationship. This is why we strongly support Georgia's Euro-Atlantic aspiration. One of the ways of facilitating our support is to help enhance the connectivity of Georgia, a country strategically located between Asia and Europe. Japan, having provided assistance to modernize East-West Highway, is ready to further assist Georgia's efforts to build sustainable and high-quality infrastructure with close coordination with our partner countries. Of course, connectivity is not just building roads. It includes other areas such as low-carbon energy systems and digital connectivity. From this perspective, I welcome the recent decision by a major Japanese renewable energy company to invest in Georgia's hydro power plant. This is well in line with Prime Minister Suga's initiative to achieve carbon-neutral society in Japan by 2050 with development of innovative technologies. In order to further promote private investment, last month I signed an investment agreement and taxation convention with Georgian ministers. These important agreements will provide strong legal framework for private investment and will send positive signals to Japanese business in search of new opportunities. Japan and Georgia can enjoy a more global partnership as well. Japan advocates a vision called Free and Open Indo-Pacific. It promotes peace and prosperity in this vast region through strengthening rule of law and rule-based order. I believe that on the basis of our shared values, Georgia can support many of the goals that we put forward in this part of the world. Respecting international law and rule-based order, Japan is a strong supporter of Georgia's sovereignty and territorial integrity within internationally recognized borders. Later, we'll show you a short video about our grassroots human security grant projects in the region around Georgia. There will be a story about a clinic in Nikolzy village, just 400 meters away from the occupied territories. The pandemic has reminded us once again that our loved ones, our families, friends are our priority. We highly recommend the efforts of the government of Georgia in tackling the pandemic. In order to support its efforts, we are providing medical equipment totaling $5.5 million to Georgia. Our major philosophy is no one's health is left behind, and we believe that the vaccine must be available fairly to all countries. For this reason, we pledge over $130 million to WHO's COVAX to supply vaccines to the developing countries, including Georgia. While Japan and Georgia take bold steps to overcome the current crisis, we must prepare for the post-corona era. We are taking initiatives to build new engines for growth to give hope to global economy. We think the key here will be green and digital. As I have already mentioned, both are closely linked to Georgia's connectivity agenda. Dear friends, connectivity extends even farther. People-to-people connection is the very basis of our friendship. Not only the Georgian sumo wrestlers, but also more students are taking initiative to reach out in recent years. The embassy has facilitated online lectures by Japanese experts to be held at Kutaisi International and Tbilisi State Universities. As we make progress in our fight against COVID-19, we hope that these online connections will turn to face-to-face contacts in the near future. Today, at the end of this reception, my chef, who came with me from Japan, will give presentation on Japanese cuisine. You will learn how to make sushi with Georgian ingredients. So please enjoy. Thank you for attending Emperor's Birthday online reception. Didi Madlova, arigatou gozaimasu.
Your Majesty, I have the great privilege and honor in the name of the Georgian nation to congratulate you and the Japanese people on your birthday and wish you and your country health, success and prosperity. Your Majesty, I recall with great pleasure my attendance to the festivities that marked your intronization and have been impressed since then by the leadership you have demonstrated in these turbulent times. Georgia and Japan share the respect for traditional values nurtured by our ancestors, together with the attachment to the democratic principles, which are the soundest foundation of a modern state. More than ever, when facing today's troubled world, Georgian people have been very appreciative in this time of pandemic of Japan's demonstrated partnership and true solidarity, which has allowed us to face the devastating effects of this unseen enemy. Your Majesty, I'm especially grateful for your country's steadfast and multiform support as we strive to lessen the effects of the pandemic on the economy of our country. We are both committed to forge new avenues of cooperation and increase our economic as well as cultural partnerships. Japan's continued support to our sovereignty and territorial integrity is of crucial importance to Georgia when confronting the painful issue of our occupied territories and the intolerable human rights abuses that occur daily. I want to stress that this support is deeply valued by every Georgian citizen. Your Majesty, I wish the best today for your people and nation as a whole, and I make the special wish that Japan will be able to carry on the Olympic Games this coming summer and thus allow your friends to share with you this great moment.
წარმოგიდგენთ მოკლე ვიდეოს იაპონიის განვითარების დახმარების, გრასრუტებისა და ადამიანთა უსაფრთხოების, საგრანტო დახმარების და კულტურული პროექტების შესახებ.
but also in other areas like environment, agriculture, or we provide help to those people who were suffered after the war in 2008, those people who are internally displaced.
და ბოლოს თქვენ ნახავთ თუ როგორ მზადდება ჩირაშიძუში, ერთ-ერთი იაპონური კერძი, რომელსაც იაპონიაში სადღესასწაულოდ ამზადებენ. ჩირაშიძუშის მომზადებას გვასწავლის ელჩის რეზიდენციის შეფი ბატონი ტაკაჰაში ტაცუჰიკო.
ガーマルジョバ、ジョージアの皆さん、こんにちは。公邸料理人の高橋です。2013年、和食がユネスコ無形文化遺産に登録されました。その中から今日はちらし寿司を皆さんにご紹介したいと思います。簡単に作れますので、皆さんもご家庭で作ってみてください。食材の紹介をしたいと思います。スモークサーモンと、茹でたエビ、カニカマ、きゅうりと卵ですね。でイクラ、きのこで、あとは、ベビーリーフとかスプラウトとか、緑のものと、お米、あとはお水、砂糖、お酢、醤油です。最初お水を入れて軽く、洗います。そしたらで水がきれいになったらお米を鍋に入れてお水沸騰したら火を弱めます。最初は強火で沸騰するまで待ちます。きのこは、適当な大きさにちぎって醤油入れます。お水入れます。そしたら火をかけます。油を引いてきゅうりもサーモン切ってきます。次は、エビを切ります。エビも同じように切ります。次はカニカマを切っていきます。きのこ切ります。 ご飯が炊けたらボウルにご飯を移します。すし酢を盛り付けをしたいと思います。まず最初にご飯を次に卵次にきのこサーモンきゅうりエビとカニカマイクラをこれで完成です。
დიდი მადლობა ყურადღებისთვის. Ყველას გისურვებთ ჯანმრთელობას, ბედნიერებას და კეთილდღეობას. ჩვენი საელჩო ძალისხმევას არ დაიშურებს, რათა ურთიერთობები ჩვენს ქვეყნებსა და ხალხებს შორის უფრო გაღრმავდეს და გაძლიერდეს. იმედი გვაქვს მალე შევხვდებით.